One Anika, are you listening to what I am saying? You are going to become a mother, Anika. Anika was slowly regaining consciousness, but on hearing these words from the doctor, the weak eyes of 18-year-old Anika suddenly widened. She was unable to understand how she could be pregnant. It had not even been 24 hours since her marriage, and no boy had touched her till date. In such a situation, how could Anika be pregnant? As shocked as Anika was, her father was also equally shocked, who was standing right there in the doctor's cabin, as if he was sensing the coming storm. Then the doctor said to Gautam, "Look, Mr. Gautam Gularia, I can understand that both of you must be very worried at this time, but before you guys take any decision, let me tell you one thing. The pregnancy has crossed 4 months, so abortion is out of the question." Anika felt that the doctor must have made a mistake, so standing up with the support of the nurse, the weak Anika mustered some strength and scolded the doctor. "What are you saying? This is impossible." But before the doctor could say anything, Gautam came to Anika fuming with anger and slapped her hard, and said, "You have to answer this, not the doctor, you shameless one." After some time outside the hospital, Gautam, who usually sits in the back seat of the car, made Anika sit in the back seat and sat next to the driver, as if he was expressing his anger towards Anika by doing so. Anika knew that being a daughter, she had given her father the biggest pain in the world today, by becoming an unwed mother. He would not have felt this much pain even when Anika's mother passed away. But despite knowing all this, Anika was not physically or mentally capable of doing anything at the moment. Her body had frozen on the back seat of the car due to weakness as well as shame. Manali is a very beautiful city of India. The city is always bustling with tourists from India and abroad. But Anika felt as if every person in Manali was asking her just one question with questioning eyes. Who was the father of this child? But even Anika did not have the answer to this. She was thinking of only one thing with moist eyes, that when no boy had touched her till date, how could she be pregnant? Anika was in this dilemma. When her car entered through a very big gate of her house, that gate was very old, and a picture of a forest was also drawn on it. Gularia House was a British-era house. It was said that officers from England used to come here for vacations. The house had old but wonderful antiques, a big garden, and a fountain in the middle. But due to lack of proper maintenance, the house was looking a bit barren for the last few years. As soon as Gautam entered the house, he angrily threw Anika's reports on the sofa and with his hand on his head, started walking up and down the hall like a roaring lion. Anika entered the house behind Gautam, with a weak body and heavy steps. Today Anika felt her body heavier than usual. Actually Anika's wee, not reachable. Seeing Kunal coming towards her, Anika's nervousness increased so much that she started murmuring out of fear. Papa is not at home." Kunal stood in front of Anika with arrogance. He was looking at Anika from top to bottom, swollen face, fat belly of 8 months pregnancy, thick arms and legs like cushions. Due to pregnancy, Anika was looking even fatter than before. Looking at Anika, Kunal pressed his lips and taking a deep breath, spat loudly on the ground. Seeing this, Anika's weakness suddenly returned. She was unable to stand properly on her feet, as if her own body was a burden to her. As Kunal was moving forward, staring angrily, Anika was moving back nervously, like a frightened lamb. It seemed as if Kunal's pointed leather shoes would crush Anika's bare soft feet at any moment. Just then, Gautam's car came in through the main gate and stopped. Gautam got out of the car and walked towards Kunal with quick steps as if a secretary was running after his boss. Gautam comes to Kunal and says to him, "Hey Kunal son, today you suddenly called and said that you are coming. Have your college holidays started?" Kunal said angrily, "I have come after 4 months. Will you welcome your son-in-law by saying this? By the way, a lot has changed here." Kunal looked at Anika's stomach and took out a bottle of rum from his pocket and put it to his mouth. Ever since he had come, his eyes were fixed on Anika's stomach. To make the atmosphere a little better, Gautam said to Kunal, "Come Kunal son, let's go inside and talk." But ignoring Gautam's words, he sipped rum and kept staring at Anika's stomach. Gautam was also feeling a little strange, but somewhere he was understanding what Kunal was thinking. So Gautam very casually told Kunal, "Look Kunal, If you want to break this marriage, I can understand." On hearing this, Kunal shouted, "What you can understand, my old grandfather cannot understand. He forcefully got me married to this fat woman, and now he wants me to give my name to her illegitimate child. When I see her, it seems as if I am being punished for a crime that I have not committed. That is why I ran away from the wedding altar, so that I don't have to spend even a moment with her." While talking, Kunal's breathing became heavy, as if he was venting out the anger that had been pent up inside him for 2 months. Annika's weight was at least 3 times more than girls of her age. A round, chubby face, a fat belly, and a chin so heavy that it hid Annika's entire neck. People often compared 120 kilograms Annika to a sack full of grains. But as fat as Annika's body was, her face was equally innocent and cute. Soft white cheeks as if one had put a rasgulla on each side of her face, her nose, which was always red due to cold, and her 2 eyes which seemed to have been made by gathering the innocence of the whole world. But till date, no one had seen her innocent face. All that was seen was her shapeless and formless body. Today, motherless child Annika needed the emotional support of her father the most. So Annika had just moved towards Gautam with teary eyes, when Gautam roared at her in a heavy mountain voice. "We got a chance with great difficulty to make our lives a little better. You were lucky that you were married to Kunal Dogra, the only heir of the Dogra clan. Do you know how powerful they are? Dogras, the most powerful family in Manali. They had got us out of all our debts, pending court cases, and all our problems. But within 24 hours of our marriage, you have made our lives hell again. Who knows what will happen when they come to know about your antics? And your younger sister Kamini. Who will marry her? Even if she is your stepsister, she will also be defamed because of your antics. No, until this matter is over, I will send your younger sister Kamini and your new mother Manisha to her brother's house." After thinking for a while, he said, "But if not today, then tomorrow, everyone will come to know." While saying this, Gautam sat on the sofa holding his head. Now there was less anger and more fear in his voice. But Gautam's tears seemed to have turned into hard words and were coming out of his mouth. "Your husband Kunal left for the city within an hour of marriage. Now when your in-laws will find out about your pregnancy, God knows what they will do. Our respect in society will definitely improve, but we will again be trapped in the same swamp from where they had rescued us. I wish you were with your mother too." Gautam stopped speaking, but Annika had heard what Gautam had stopped saying. Annika felt bitter. 1.1. She was used to hearing such words, but today the question was raised on her character and her purity. Annika wanted to get out of this labyrinth as soon as possible, but she was not able to understand what to do. She was thinking that if whatever was happening was a lie, then what was this truth eager to breathe in her stomach? The next day, Gautam asked for the footage of the last 5 months from all the CCTV cameras installed in the house, and after watching it closely, he was shocked to know that Annika had not gone out of the house for the last 5 months due to a minor illness. Seeing this, Gautam's anger turned into surprise. He understood that something was wrong, but more than that, he was worried about what the Dogra family would do now. Soon a nurse was appointed to take care of Annika. With constant care and medicines, Annika's health was improving, but at the same time she was thrilled to know that a tiny being was breathing inside her. Annika may have been young, but the mother inside her was eager for a child to be born soon. Finally, someone was going to come into her life who would be hers and only hers. 4 months had passed. Annika had forgotten almost everything during her pregnancy. Neither did she meet anyone, nor did anyone meet her. She only kept talking to the little life growing inside her. One day Annika was watering the garden outside her house with a pipe, when suddenly she felt a lump under her feet. She felt some movement downstairs. Before she could understand anything, a sports bike came in through the main gate of her house. Just like bullets are fired from a machine gun, hearing the sound of the bike made it seem as if a war has started on the border. Hearing the sound of the bike, Annika left the water pipe. She quickly held her stomach with both hands, as if she was hiding her scared child in her palu. The bike came and stopped near the stairs of the bungalow. The boy's deep red eyes were clearly visible through his leather shoes, tight jeans, dark blue t-shirt, and yellow glasses. As soon as Annika saw the boy, her heart started pounding with fear and tension. This boy was none other than Annika's husband, Kunal Dogra, who was 21 years old. Kunal got off the bike with great style, keeping his eyes fixed on Annika, and started moving slowly towards her. Annika and Kunal were both looking at each other. Kunal's marriage to Annika was done against his will. But no man can tolerate seeing someone else's child in his wife's womb. After marriage, Kunal went straight from the wedding mandap to Delhi to complete his college studies, and on the second day of the wedding, he got the news of Annika's death. From that day onwards, Annika used to think almost every day that the day she will meet Kunal, she doesn't know how he will react. Today, when Kunal was going in front of her, she doesn't know why. Despite being innocent, Annika was feeling a strange restlessness and fear. Annika immediately calls her father, but his phone is